Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. We start off today talking about a little bit of some gaming news, which is essentially about E3 and the fact that it's now a done deal. Now I'm pretty sure most of you guys already know what E3 is, and that is of course, it's basically one of the biggest gaming events, if not the biggest gaming event of the year. In terms of like tech related events, if you compare it to like WWDC, CES, and so forth, it's definitely up there with like CES, where all of the big companies come together and they talk about the latest tech, and with E3, they talk about the latest games or the latest console, if they ever release one, and people get to demo around a few games, they get to play the games, there's a trailer that launches. Oftentimes, it is called the, quote, official E3 trailer. That's the trailer that they show on E3. Although, nowadays, you can release it on YouTube without the need of a major event. Although it's nice to do it there just to give it a little bit more attention, if you get what I'm saying. But the most recent E3 that took place was in 2019, which was a year before the pandemic. And of course, COVID was responsible for initially canceling E3 back in 2020, and they didn't hold an event in 2021. They tried to hold an event in 2022, but a lot of companies were pulling out and they decided that they didn't want to do it. And 2023 was supposedly like the redemption arc, like the comeback of E3. Like this would be the first time since 2019 that we're actually getting an E3 event. But unfortunately, it has officially been announced that E3 2023 has officially been canned. Yes, E3 has yet again been canceled. Link in the description. I don't know whether or not it will be archived. This is coming from IGN. They were the ones who confirmed it. And yeah, E3 has officially been canceled. So according to IGN, the ESA, who are the guys who run and operate E3, they're the ones who plan everything out and set up the event in the first place. And I believe they confirmed this via email that they were sending out to some of its members. Essentially just saying, we're not going to be doing E3 this year. Yes, we've been planning it out, but turns out we're not doing it this year. Sorry. Now, according to the email, the reason why they canceled E3 is because supposedly there was like a lack of interest of the event altogether. If you do recall, when they were setting up E3 for last year in 2022, a lot of like the big gaming companies weren't able to attend the event that they were planning out. So like Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, all the big three console companies, a lot of other big companies like Bethesda, Ubisoft, and amongst others, Activision Blizzard, to name a few. A lot of these companies weren't able or couldn't able or did not feel like attending E3 if they were to hold an event in 2022. So that's one of the reasons why they canceled it in 2022. But the reason for 2023, according to the email, they said officially that the event or the 2023 version of what they were planning, quote unquote, simply did not garner the sustained interest necessary to execute it in a way that would showcase the size, strength, and impact of our industry. So yeah, there was just not that much interest in starting and planning this event. Now, the email did not specify that there will be like a 2024 E3. They didn't say like, 2023 is not working within our favor. There is not that much interest with E3 this year, but next year's event, next year, that's when we're going to have a huge event. So stay tuned for 2024. This will be our ultimate redemption arc. Who knows? Maybe Rockstar will be there and they will announce GTA 6 for once. Finally, maybe Valve will be there and they'll announce Half-Life 3. You don't know that. So stay tuned next year for E3 2024. This time, we're back. For real. Like, they did not say that on the email whatsoever. They didn't mention of an event that they were planning next year, which is sort of kinda hinting that E3 might be a done deal. Now, we don't know that for sure completely, but if that's the case, well, fuck me. That would be pretty goddamn sad, especially for a hardcore pro gamer like myself. So, after the release of that email, the future of E3 remains completely bleak. Future is not looking too great for E3, and by my guess, maybe E3 might actually be a done deal for good, and that's just my hypothesis on the situation. And it would be really disappointing to see such an event that I grew up watching for, at the very least, a better part of a decade. Believe me, I used to tune in every year to watch E3 since at least 2012 or 2013. Can't be 2013 because WWDC was held on the same week on that year, but I remember watching E3 somewhere around the early 2010s, and it brings so much good memories, like it really does. I like watching what all these companies have in store for the future. I loved watching what the next big thing was gonna be, what the next Elder Scrolls was gonna be, what the next GTA was gonna be, the new Call of Duty, the new Need for Speed, or what the new Fallout game is gonna be like. All of the crazy E3 trailers that we see, the new games that are going to be released. You know what I mean? I just love watching this, and the new consoles that might come out. It's going to be really sad and really disappointing to see E3 go. It really is. And let's be hypothetical. If they were to actually pull this event off, if they were to actually set up E3 2023 and all the big companies were going to be there, I believe there would be a lot of people who would tune in. Not just to watch the big games in general, but just for the nostalgia factor alone, because a lot of people have been watching E3 for almost just as long as I have. And I bet the people who are hearing this news are really just bummed out after hearing that. I mean, nowadays, when you think about an event like E3, you could care less. We will get into that. But again, it's just the nostalgia factor alone as to why people would tune in to watch E3. Even Moist Critical himself has admitted it in his video. It would be great to finally get E3 back. It would be great for there to be an actual event. Hell, you don't even have to set up for like a fucking convention center in like Las Vegas. You can make a virtual E3. I mean, like what Apple has done for WWDC and their iPhone events. Most of the events that Apple does are all virtual. It doesn't stop E3 for doing the same. They could just do it that way and people will still tune in. But let's face it, I don't think there would actually be ever a chance for people to show up there in person, because Las Vegas tickets aren't that cheap. And besides, there are also hotels, thousands of which to choose, but who's willing to get an expensive flight, an expensive ticket, and an expensive hotel? I mean, it's understandable. Now we get into the whole lack of interest part, which was explained in the email and the one that is highlighted as the reason why they canceled the event. Now, the reason for that is because I don't think it's really necessary to hold an event like E3. When you really think about it, other companies like Sony, like Activision Blizzard, Nintendo, Microsoft, they can all hold their own events, and game studios in general can show off their own trailers without using E3. They could just set it up as a YouTube premiere and be like, ooh, a special day on Friday, April 7th, 2023 at 3 p.m. Eastern. Tune in then. We got a very big surprise waiting for you. They can all just do that instead, and top it all off with holding your own events yearly. This essentially renders events like E3 obsolete, I would say. So, with E3 getting cancelled, gone forever, maybe, maybe not, that's still debatable. What now? Now, I've already laid out a few examples as to what companies are doing without E3. You know, game studios are already releasing their trailers themselves, not branding them as E3 trailers. They can always pin a date on their calendar, tell people about the date, set the trailer as a premiere, and announce their upcoming games that way. Other companies like Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo already have their own events. I mean, Nintendo holds their yearly Nintendo Direct still outside of E3. And what if Sony or Microsoft decides to announce a new console, like the new PlayStation 6 or the new Xbox console or whatever? How are they going to announce their new consoles without E3? Well, again, they can always hold a separate event just to announce that certain console. They don't really need E3 to announce a console. Sure, it gets the most attention. Sure, the addition of having E3 is to have people come over and actually play the games and try them out themselves. But again, studios can still set up their own events, although not really the cheapest thing, just to have people play the demos of their games. I know there are some game studios out there that already do this, and as far as gaming hardware is concerned, CES is still a thing. Almost every gaming hardware company, whether that be Razer, Alienware, MSI, Asus, Lenovo, Nvidia, AMD, Intel, whatever, all of these companies announce and unveil their hardware at CES already. What's stopping Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft announcing whatever new console they have releasing there instead? I know it's going to be really hard not seeing E3 every year. I know people are going to miss it. Others probably could care less. And it's gonna be sad for me because, again, I used to watch E3 every year. It's going to be really sad not seeing it every year. But at the end of the day, you can always spin a positive light when something goes. You know, out with the old, in with the new. Sometimes you start liking the new and you get used to it. I'm pretty sure every single idea that I just listed in this video will work just as good, if not even better, than just having one singular event every summer. We don't know if E3 is done, if it's canceled for good. We don't know that. They really haven't specified whether or not E3 is permanently done in the email. They just said E3 2023 was canceled, and at the same time, they didn't mention that there was going to be an event next year. So really, the future of E3 is currently bleak and uncertain. There is no confirmation as to what's going to happen next, or what the future of E3 is going to be at all. But if it is gone for good, it's gonna be pretty sad for us gamers. We will not forget all the memories that we had with E3, and who knows, maybe we will see E3 come back in the future. But you know, as always, I'll end the conversation down to you. What do you think about this situation? Is E3 coming back? Is E3 done for good? What alternatives to E3 can you think of? What do you think companies are gonna do? Is CES a good alternative to E3? At least as far as hypothetical new consoles are concerned. As always, leave all your thoughts in the comments down below. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button down below. And if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the little notification bell. Be sure to follow me on all my social medias. Links are in the description below. Don't forget to follow me on all my new tech sites. Those will be on the links down below as well. Share this video with your friends, families, boyfriends, girlfriends, whomever. Definitely helps me out a lot. Helps the video grow. Helps grow the channel even. So don't forget to share this video around, I really do appreciate it. And don't forget to join me on the Discord server if you can. I'll leave a link in the description down below where you can hang out with me, chit chat with me, play video games with me, and send me some news tips and video ideas. My DMs are open there. I can't get to everything that I get, but I'll always try my best. But anyways guys, like, subscribe, ring notifications, and until then, take care, talk soon, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.